embezzlement on Wall Street has proven to be completely worthless.
But it's also a case of the article is pointing out that the bond vigilantes are back, and the bond vigilantes are attacking these countries across the European Union. But as we know, and as we've covered, and Russia Today has covered, it's these products sold to Greece, which all this turmoil is being caused by, were fraudulent. You know, Goldman Sachs sold them these fictional exchange rate credit default swaps, currency swaps, and now everybody is worried that they're all fictional across the entire European Union.
Well, bond vigilantes meet gold vigilantes. Ouch! Ouch! You're hurting me! Ouch! The gold vigilantes are beating up the bond vigilantes! Ouch! Ouch! Look, the bond vigilantes are getting slaughtered by the gold vigilantes!
Well, so as we have all this turmoil happening in the lending and credit markets and sort of manipulation seemingly going on in the gold market, now we turn to the hordes that those billionaires are ready to gun down. Rich people still have jobs, poor people don't, according to this headline. So a recent study is out, and it shows that the very bottom of the labor pool, the very bottom percentile, those earning less than $12,500 a year, so the people on minimum wage, they are experiencing depression-era level of unemployment. They're at 30.8% in the fourth quarter of 2009, while the top percentile, those earning over $140,000 a year, they're experiencing full employment levels of 3%.
Well, you know, during the feudal period before the Age of Reason, this is the kind of economic model we saw. It's called feudalism. Then you had the revolutions of the 18th century, which brought about this whole new model of so-called capitalism, but that's been repealed now due to fraud on Wall Street.
That's exactly right. But also the authors of the study say that the middle classes, all the middle incomes, have, you know, the numbers suggest they're suffering a deep recession. But the very top, you know, anybody earning over $100,000, basically there's no unemployment there. So it also puts lie to the notion that there's trickle down, because there's clearly no trickle down. It looks very much, if you look at this pyramid, like a trickle up pyramid Ponzi scheme.
Yes, the trickle up is clearly in place. This is what Barack Obama never figured out when he took office, is that the whole model is to transfer billions, hundreds of billions, trillions of wealth up to the ruling banking elite class in this neo-feudal model. And I still don't think he gets it yet. Well,
I think probably because everybody in Washington, anybody who's working, anybody on Wall Street, all of his friends, all of his lawyers, there's full employment there. So unless you go out and see somebody earning $12,500 a year, or if you're earning $20,000 a year, the unemployment levels are 19.1% according to the study. So unless you meet those people, you're not going to see that there's actual real very, very bad suffering. And this includes income from unemployment and sort of welfare checks.
Well, you know, our friend Dmitry Orlov, who wrote that brilliant essay about the collapse gap, talking about the collapse of the Soviet Union, is prelude to a collapse in America, and we're seeing that in America now for the same reasons. America's bankrupted itself on specious war interventions and genocide committing in places like Iraq, and now they're in Afghanistan, and now they're saber-rattling in Iran. With what? Borrowed money from China? Meanwhile, China's saying, we're not going to lend you any more money. Where are they going to get this money from? Well, they're going to print it up in the basement. That's hyperinflationary.
And I have one final headline regarding this unemployment situation. So, because, as you mentioned, the states, the United States, and all the states within it are going bankrupt, they're having to release prisoners early. But, unable to get jobs, freed inmates return to jail. So recidivism rates are likely to rise as jobless rate for ex-cons may be 60%. So they're being released from prison because the states can't afford to keep them in prison anymore. And yet they go out into an economy which is in a Depression-era situation. So they're committing crimes to go back into prison so at least they have some meals.
Well, remember, Stacey Herbert, the reason the terrorists attack is because they hate our freedoms.
Apparently. But so they point out that 1 in every 31 Americans were on probation, in prison, or on parole in 2008.
Not much freedom there.